and worked with them. You know, the police, in the tough districts of the East End of Newport News and some of the next to downtown housing projects around St. Mary's. And you got him thrown in with, teachers and principals, administrators, the local judges, the federal judge, the dean of the law school, the dean of several deans of Eastern Virginia Medical School, which was just being founded when I was in Sacred Heart, and there was a good example. The dividing line in Norfolk, Virginia is Granby Street. I lived 5 years on the white side and 11 years on the black side. So I had a good perspective about Norfolk. What a divided city it was, despite valiant attempts of the civil authorities and the school system to have real integration, which can be done more effectively by honest churches. But anyway, the churches are usually not the leaders. They're always dragging their feet. But I could see when I worked with the Confederate widows and all the uppity move-ins who were starting to establish Ghent in the 60s. And then I went to Northern Virginia with a wealthy parish, but I had to leave. I didn't have to leave, but I left because I knew it was all going to go backward and conservative. In fact, when I went to ask the bishop to leave after the diocese was split, I was still in Northern Virginia, and I wanted to come back to Richmond. I went in to ask I made an appointment about 3 weeks after he was installed and the Diocese of Arlington was erected. And I knew ahead of time he wanted a group of monsignors, older men in those days, men my age, not my age now, had a meeting with the bishop, and he named them consultors and all that Roman nonsense. And they had said to him, if TQ, or they called me Father Quinlan, of course, if he, try to get rid of him. So I heard about that secret meeting, which made me hysterical. In fact, the last night, when I used to go to priest meetings before the diocese was split, and those old monsignors are trying to get it split to make it more conservative, I could smell and feel in that room how they didn't want me there. It was a terrible feeling, but I interpreted it, of course, as I do romantically, and laugh, and I would say things just to get them excited. When I used to talk at those meetings, there was a Monsignor, a very rigid one, who had lots of power, even before the diocese was split. And when I would ever talk, he would get up and walk parents up and down. He'd pace up and down all the while I was talking, and when I stopped, he'd go back and sit down. So he was, he was an anti-TQ person if I ever met one.